As the new wears off of this habit of daily writing, knowing your why may give you that extra motivation to keep writing. I am Dr. Denise, and I like writing. And I bet you do too. That's why you're here. That's how you found this video. Maybe you just love writing for the joy of it. Maybe someone has told you, you should write a book about that. Or maybe it is a release of emotions for you. Whatever your compelling reasons are to write, I'm so glad that you found me here today. As you can tell, I'm in a different environment. I'm in a short-term rental here, gonna do some work editing a book. And while I'm here, I thought I would chat with you. Today, I want to talk about why you write. If you are just joining our little corner of the internet, then you found us in the middle of a 100-day challenge. We started September 1st of 2024. It'll end on December the 10th, and it's just a challenge to write for 100 days straight and to write 500 words each day, resulting in about a 50,000-word manuscript. But if you found me at a different time, this still holds true anytime that you are struggling with getting the writing done. You know, what I know about the writing process is that the beginning is usually pretty easy. I mean, in the beginning, I'm full of enthusiasm for the project. I'm excited about it. Even if I am tired or not feeling at my very best, that enthusiasm and motivation will often get me over the hump and keep me writing. But if, like about now, you're 6 weeks into it, the new has worn off, and now it's starting to feel more like a grind, then you're gonna need something else to motivate you. You know, in the beginning, that 500 words is usually pretty easy to attain. And so I often write more than 500 words. Yay me, look at me, I've exceeded my goal, I'm doing so great. But then something will happen that disrupts those positive feelings. Maybe something comes up and I have to miss writing. Maybe on a particular day there's a lot of distractions, or maybe just I get sick or just feel apathetic. Something comes up that makes writing harder. That is when it helps to know the reason that you have committed this time and effort to writing your book. What is your why? Is this a long-term bucket list item? You've always wanted to write a book and now you're going to do it? Is there a season that makes this an urgent story to tell? Has your schedule cleared up and so you have a little bit of time that you'd like to devote to writing? Well, those might be good reasons to write your book now, but they're probably not your why. They're not the deep need that you have to write this book. So today, I want to give you a technique to help you really dig into your why. It's simply called the 5 questions. So let me walk you through how this looks. Here's an example of how that might work. Let's say I ask you why you want to write your book. And you say to me,
"It's been a long-term goal of mine to write a book."
That's the first why question. Now let's dig a little bit deeper. Okay, good. You want to write a book. Let's say you did that. Let's say you achieved finishing your book. Why would that have been important to you? Maybe your answer is something like,
"Well, because it means I finished something that I said I would do."
Great. That's the second why question. Now let's ask it for a third time. Okay, let's say that you did accomplish that goal and you wrote your book and you did something that you said you would do. Why would that be important to you? And maybe you would come back and say something like,
"Well, because I rarely finish things. I feel like I don't keep promises to myself, that I'm always taking care of other people's needs first, which means the things that I want to do often come last."
So now let's ask the fourth why. Now, remember to be kind here. By the time you get to the fourth why, you're often uncovering some really deeper emotions. You're getting close to the heart of who you are and what really matters to you. So be gentle with yourself here. So I might respond to that last why like this. I hear you saying that taking care of other people is important to you. It sounds like you're a really caring person, but when you do that, you often put your needs last. If you finish your book, you would be keeping a promise to yourself. So why does that matter? And your response might be something like,
well, it would mean that my needs matter too.
You see how we're getting closer to real stuff here and how important it is to dig for that why? We have now gone from, I've always wanted to write a book, to writing a book means that my needs matter too. Well, let's dig just a little bit deeper, and for the 5th time, let's ask why. So you've said that you've always wanted to write a book, that finishing it would mean doing something that you've always wanted to do. You've shown that you could keep a promise to yourself and that your needs matter too. Why is that important to you? And maybe your answer would be something like,
because it would mean that I matter.
So just that small step from my needs matter too to I matter is a really significant one. And that's why it's important to ask why 5 times. Now you could keep digging and dig deeper, but I have found that usually 5 times is kind of the magic number for really getting to the heart of why you want to write a book. It is much more motivating to write a book because you're proving to yourself that you matter than to write a book because I've always wanted to. And on the hard days, when you have to dig deep for that motivation, you need to know what your why is. You see, on those hard days, you can say something like, when I write, I am proving to myself that I matter. When I carve out 30 minutes, it is time for me. I can still take care of other people's needs, and I will, because that also is important to me. But for 30 minutes a day, I am showing up for myself, for my values, for my goals, for my dream of writing a book. And that's what I challenge you to do today. Really dig and uncover your why. In fact, this makes a great journaling prompt, and it's certainly one that you can do in 500 words. So maybe today's writing will be a journaling prompt of why I want to write a book. Ask yourself why 5 times. Dig a little deeper each time until you get to something that really matters and really motivates you. And if you like the idea of journaling, you may also want to check out this video over here about journaling prompts.